And there's a very scary hadith Qudsi that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about. And He says, عَبْدِي لِمَ جَعَلْتَنِي أَهْوَنَ النَّاظِرِينَ إِلَيْكَ. He says, my slave, why did you make me the least of your worries? Why did you not care about the fact that I was watching you? He says, أَسْتَحْيَيْتَ مِنْ خَلْقِي وَلَمْ تَسْتَحِي مِنِّي. He says, you were embarrassed in front of my creation, but you were not embarrassed in front of me, the Creator. You were scared that people at the masjid would think you were bad, so you prayed your sunnah and you sallied longer. Yet when you went at home and I was the only one who watched you, you didn't care. You weren't embarrassed that you read Surah Al-Ikhlas and that's it. You weren't embarrassed that you didn't pray your sunnah. You weren't embarrassed that you didn't do your ithqar. Why don't you remember that I was watching you, and I was always watching you, and I am always watching you? And subhanAllah, I don't know if you guys were at the session right before this. Sheikh Tariq must have mentioned a beautiful story, and I'm going to share it. So if you heard it, I'm sorry that I'm repeating, but he talked about how when he was 16, he became like a Quran assistant in his masjid, and he was teaching alongside of like this awesome sheikh, right? He was talking about how he was 16, teaching Quran, and he felt like a G. He was like, man, I'm like awesome. I'm 16 and I'm teaching Quran to other people. And so one day, I guess he went to the masjid early, like before Fajr or something, and he went, and he found that his sheikh's car was parked outside the masjid, but all the lights were closed. So he was like, okay, that's kind of weird. And he mentioned that, he had to go make wudu. So he walks into the bathroom only to find that his scholar, his teacher, one who was taught by many righteous, amazing scholars before him, was on his knees cleaning the toilet of the masjid. And so Sheikh Tariq Mustah goes to him and he's like, Sheikh, like, what are you doing? You're an amazing sheikh, you learned with this person and you learned with that, and your status is this, like, how are you on your knees cleaning the masjid? And his response was profound. He says, this is the work that the one who sees always sees. This is the work that when no one else saw you, Allah saw it. Because what we do is we love to be the one with the microphone, we love to be the one who everyone can attribute things to, we love to be the one with the title. I love to be quoted, I love for people to know who I am. Yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees the things that no one else sees. The things that you thought no one saw. When you did the dishes and your mom didn't tell you thank you, Allah saw that. When you picked something off the floor and no one saw it, Allah saw that. The reason why we do things in the community is because we love that recognition. We love for people to pat us on the back and say good job. We love the volunteer appreciation dinner. We love that. But realize you're not always going to get it, and sometimes it's better for you that only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saw it. And it could be that that deed that you did in secret that no one saw besides Allah is the reason why you enter Jannah. And everything that you've done in the public, everything that people saw, everything that was out in the open, was stuff that you did for the wrong reasons, and you never know, that may not even count for you. So this is kind of our thought process in understanding whether or not we have this problem. Now once you find out you have the problem, what do I do? What's the solution? So a couple things I was thinking about is if you feel like people are holding you up to this standard, you are this and this and this, and you have this title and this title and this title, and you're amazing. Challenge yourself to live up to that standard that people are holding you to. If you go home and you say, man, people think I'm great, but I'm actually not, try to actually be great. And it's not for the people. It's not for people to say, Shereen Salama was great. But it's for me to improve myself so Allah can say Shereen Salama was great. For me to take the standard that you put me at and to try to actually achieve it. Not for you, but for Allah. And the second thing is that for every public deed that you do in the eyes of people, that you double that in your private life, in your private ibadah. That man, if you prayed in the masjid, try to pray at home when no one else can see you besides Allah. Try to wake up when everyone's asleep, in the dark, just you and Allah. Create that relationship. And the third, and this is a dua that was taught to us by Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. He used to receive praise, and there was this beautiful dua that he used to say. And it goes, Allahumma ghfir li ma la ya'lamoon, waj'alni khayran mimma yadhunnun. Which translates to, O Allah, forgive me for what they do not know about me, and make me better than what they think that I am. Because it's funny, we like to cover up the fact that all of us have a hidden past. All of us have some secret, all of us have some sin, all of us have something that we've done that no one else knows. But remember that when you're being praised, that you once were in that state. Not to put yourself down, but for you to remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who brought you there. And finally, and I'll conclude in reminding us that this is a journey. This by no means is something that we are going to accomplish. It's going to be a constant struggle. But at least when we die, we'll be dying on the path and struggle for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among those who can improve upon ourselves and to make the journey to Him easy. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.